Fanboys and fangirls, welcome back to another beautiful episode of the fan. I don't know. I just started rambling. Episode 299. Tyler decided to come back just in time to hit 300 in a couple weeks.
That might
indeed
be the worst intro we've ever had. No offense to that.
I know.
I love it. I need more of it.
I purposefully
You're off the rails with it.
sabotaged it. Yeah, Tyler's back. How you doing, man?
I'm back. I'm good. I had some things pop up. Concert, work trip, vacation, all kind of in a row. So
I didn't think you were ever coming back.
Well, so I was gonna try to call in. Was it last week? Yeah, when I was in Boston. But our boss man for the Wichita site flew up there and took us all out to dinner, and it went way later than I thought. I didn't get back to the hotel till like 10:30 at night.
I mean,
I was like, oh boy. I was like texting you guys, like, yeah, boys, I don't think it's gonna happen. I'm sorry.
We forgive you.
Never forgive you.
Oh.
Okay, hold on. Luke and I need to have a powwow. Luke, are we forgiving him or not?
You forgive him, I won't.
Okay.
That way we can split the difference.
The next time something happens, I'll forgive him and I won't.
Yeah.
Deal. All right.
Cool. Yeah, I'm on board. Good job. But yeah, I'm back. And I don't foresee myself being gone for a while. So I'm home.
Sounds good. Awesome. Well, we got some trailers to go over before we review Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 this week. Luke, what do you got over there for me, my man?
For some reason, I was just like not at all ready for you to just pass that to me.
My bad. So starting off,
I also was on vacation, so I'm tired, and I don't know if I can remember how to do this. All right, I'm gonna start off with the worst one.
Okay.
The worst one. I don't know. I think it looks okay. The Gran Turismo trailer.
Yeah.
I forgot this came out.
Orlando Bloom, David Harbour, like big names. No, I mean, they're not small names, but they're also like not movie star names.
They're not like super busy actors.
Yeah, exactly.
I forget that this movie is based on a true story. I
can't believe that this movie's being directed by Neil Blomkamp.
That is the weirdest thing to me. It's such a weird...
I feel like this is probably he enjoys video games and it will pay the bills for the month type of project. Maybe it's a super passion project for him. I don't know.
Maybe he just loves Gran Turismo.
He could. But yeah, I would agree with Luke. Like, this is the least interesting of all the trailers we got this week, and it should be fine. But like, look, is there any way anyone's ever gonna top Ford v Ferrari? No. We don't need any more racing
and
movies.
You don't even need to try.
Don't try. No. Sideways thumb.
Yeah.
On this.
I don't think this looks bad.
It's not a bad
The
trailer.
driving looks good.
It doesn't look like a bad movie. It just doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't make me want to go out to the theaters on opening night.
Right.
I've never played a Gran Turismo game.
I have. So. I used to play it a lot on my PS2.
Didn't the Need for Speed movie bomb?
Oh yeah, it did.
Probably because it was a video game.
We should watch that. Who's in that movie?
Aaron Paul.
Oh. Hold up.
But all the stunts are real in that movie. That was one of the selling points of them.
Who else is in this one?
I mean, I feel like that's a very on brand for
Kid Cudi.
What? Rami Malek? Dakota Johnson? Michael Keaton?
Dominic Cooper.
Well, he's loaded.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I'm down.
Still bad. I'm in.
Did that one come out during the writer's strike? Add it to the list.
2014.
2014.
Oh,
no.
So that would have been 2009.
Right?
Yeah.
Because the strike was in 8.
8 to 9, right?
What else is this guy directed?
Anyways.
A trailer we got today.
Oh.
Looking real hot. The Meg 2.
Yes.
The Trench.
Yes.
The Trench.
I was wondering what happened to that Trench spin-off of Aquaman.
Right? Yeah, this is what that
the
became,
best
right?
version of that. This movie looks awesome.
In all the worst and best ways.
Oh, yeah. This
is going to be a good bad movie.
It looks terrible, and I'm going to have so much fun with it.
Yeah, it's going to be a good bad movie.
You're going to sneak in the
no,
hooch?
not needed. Not needed.
We should just like.
By the time we get to
Warren
the Meg
21.
10,
Yeah.
Yes.
Warren 21.
okay.
Warren 21 for the Meg 2. Last movie I saw in that was The Lighthouse.
Oh my
No, that's not
gosh.
true.
That was like 4 years ago, sir.
No, I saw something else in the Warren 21 reading before. Oh, I saw the Black Phone in there.
That was last year.
That was last year.
Mine was The Lighthouse.
I was there for
Great
that.
movie.
Great movie.
Another trailer we got today. This one also coming in hot, real hot, hotter than a billion suns. Oppenheimer.
Yeah. And the award goes to Oppenheimer, I assume, for everything.
No, I don't think so.
This looks good.
This is a really good trailer. Looks gorgeous, sounds amazing. As long as we can understand what they're saying in the IMAX theater, I'll be happy.
You will not.
I think this wins the
I'm
award.
if I was a betting person, and I'm not, because I've never downloaded the app. I always say I'm going to, like, oh, Tyler, teach me how to bet on sports. I never do it.
That's okay.
It will be horrible audio. It always is.
I think this wins the award for second best trailer of the week.
Agreed. What the Fanboy Award, second best trailer of the
Okay,
week.
no.
Goes to Oppenheimer.
I would agree. It's still the second best trailer, but I think it'll be a more favorited, a more popular movie
Then the other one?
than the other one. A more award-winning
Ooh,
movie.
let's place this bet right now.
I think so.
Pizza
Dune
bet.
was cleaning up.
Pizza bet. Which movie wins more Oscars? Oppenheimer or Dune Part 2?
Dune.
Pizza bet.
I'll
Dune.
I'll go for Oppenheimer.
You got yourself... Hold on. Let me make a note here. Let me make a note.
I'm with Tyler. I'm on Dune.
He's got to buy us pizza. On this day, May 8th, 2023, Brett agreed to buy Luke and I pizza.
Stop.
If
Stop. Right there.
Dune Part
Yeah, that's all we
2
really need,
wins
right?
more Oscars than Oppenheimer.
Also, Nolan always gets snubbed.
Vice versa.
That's a good point.
Oh, you already shook hands.
I already shook hands. I'll own it.
And it was
Suck.
it was more awards, right? Not like
Not
the big
tiered.
one,
There's
just
no weight
more
here.
awards.
It's just
Oh my.
awards. Yeah, you did this to yourself.
I did do this to myself, didn't I?
Gotta check the
Special
fine
effects
print.
is going to Dune. We can already write that one in. So that's free. Costuming's probably also
unless
going to
Avatar
Dune.
3 just like comes out all of a sudden.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Avatar 3, I need it to swoop in and save my... or Avatar 2.
And that's 2024 apparently at the moment.
Oh. Wait. Yeah, because Avatar 2 was nominated for this year's awards.
Yeah, it was last year.
Yeah, I'm screwed.
Yep, you're done for.
All right.
Bye. Thanks for the free
Getting
pizza.
pizza, cause I am hungry. I'm gonna eat it.
I get to choose
gonna
where
laugh
we're
at
going
Brett's
now.
face.
That's fine. As long as you buy, I don't care.
Okay. Man, I thought that was going to be a harder fight to win, but...
It's pizza.
So, the trailer that we're all most excited about, though.
You could be like, we're going to Sam's Club. I'm gonna eat the pizza.
Dune, I'm moving on. Dune Part 2.
Yes.
Dune.
Good lord. 2 thumbs way up. This
Yeah.
looks awesome.
This
know
looks
what?
great.
You know what the best part about this trailer was when this came out, I was working from home that day, so I didn't have to watch it on a phone.
Oh,
Like, wait.
dude, that's...
I just put it on the 4K TV, cranked up the volume, and I watched it like 20 times.
See, that's like one of those things. Like sometimes a trailer will come out and I won't watch it at work on my phone because I just don't. I don't want to watch it that way. That's not how I want to experience it. So I'll wait till I get home.
Yeah.
This was one I waited for.
Yeah, the trailer, it looks gorgeous. The music, I'm wondering if Tyler likes these things and just like, ooh, I can't wait to see that part from the book.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it. It looks great. Austin Butler looks creepy. And
not just in real life. Got him. I don't remember what he looks like.
Burn.
I just want to know if they'll have the Elvis accent because I think that would make it even funnier.
It really would.
Paul Atreides.
Oh.
Starts moving his legs back and forth. Okay, I need that.
What would he
cut
say
of
in
this movie.
Harkonnen?
I need this.
We need this cut.
It'll be an SNL skit.
Oh,
It's
for
got
sure.
it. Was there another trailer? Those.
I don't know if we
I don't
talked
anymore.
about it in the last week or if it came out this week. I think there's a new Little Mermaid trailer,
Okay.
and it wouldn't surprise me if you guys hadn't seen it.
I mean, if there was, it would have been in front of Guardians this past weekend. So
I don't know
I mean,
if it was new.
If that tells you
Or
anything,
not.
yeah, I was gonna say if it tells you anything, that I don't actually remember.
thumbs down. Anyways.
Clearly didn't leave a great impression. So
Part of your world.
I think we should have Luke remake this movie.
On it. I'll make The Little Mermaid too. The first Disney cartoon sequel to get a live action remake.
Oh, trailblazing.
Yeah.
Hey,
We're making Pocahontas too.
you're not part of WGA.
Lion King
you can
1.5.
You can go write a movie for him right now.
It'd probably be just as good as anybody else they would hire during the strike. So
Exactly.
Do it.
Your best shot right now. Okay. Well, if we have no other trailers, we can talk about the first big movie of the summer. Opening up the summer, sending out the spring. I don't know what year or what season we're actually in right now, because it's starting to feel like summer. Although I got a sweatshirt
It was
on.
in
Maybe
the
it's my own
90s
fault.
this weekend.
it was hot.
It was like cold and rainy all week where I was. I come back here and it's 90 degrees. I was like, what is this? This is terrible.
It was very
It
warm.
was kind of nice too.
It was partially nice, but I'm glad I have a cool place to hang out inside. Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Finally.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Finally some good freaking food.
Yeah, what are your guys' first impressions? We'll stay spoiler free for a little bit. Inevitably, we'll talk about spoilers. If you haven't seen it, we'll expect you to mute us or hop off, and that'll be fine. But spoiler free for now.
I'll go first. It's a great finish to a great trilogy that's heartfelt, action-packed, and loads of fun.
Like it, love it, want some more of it.
Yeah, it's I think on Letterboxd I wrote I was either edge of my seat, laughing or crying, or maybe all three at once.
Yeah.
Just a fantastic conclusion. Loved it. It might be recency bias, so I don't want to say it yet, but I think it might be my favorite Guardians movie.
It's good.
It's really good, man. I don't have a thing written out here, but what I'll say is that I really loved how it felt like it was a trilogy that didn't feel caught up in the like rest of the MCU, right? Like it's a little bit like Iron Man. Like I think Iron Man did this pretty well. Even if you didn't like Iron Man 3, it was still kind of the end of that trilogy. Now those characters continued on, and some of these characters will continue on as well. But this really did, unlike say Captain America's trilogy really got kind of sidelined by the Avengers,
Yeah,
right? It was like,
hijacked.
oh, actually, we're gonna hijack this and make this an Avengers movie,
Mm-hmm.
which it is fine. I think Civil War is a really good film. But I really did appreciate that they were able to like fully explore these characters, this group of characters, and keep it tight. Keep it, it's not about what all's coming. There's remnants of what has come in the past with the Infinity Saga and some of the choices that were made there. They have to deal with, but really a very heartfelt and emotional story. To kind of wrap up this group of characters together.
Mm-hmm. I think one of the best things about it is that it's a character movie, and it's not the world is ending.
Yeah.
Movie.
Yeah.
Like even the villain isn't trying to destroy the universe.
And I love that they actually say that.
Yeah.
Like I think that's super funny and kind of a throw it in their face kind of line, and I appreciate that they say it.
Yeah, this is a great villain.
Fantastic, yeah.
What was his name? The High evolutionary.
Yeah.
Really well portrayed. I think well written, and like you said, he's got motivation that while no one would be empathetic towards, you understand what he's going for, right? Like you understand his motivation, and it's not. And I think sometimes the world domination or the kill half the universe stuff, like it's like Thanos' defense could make sense. Like I could wrap my head around it, but that doesn't make it any easier for me to connect with him as a villain. And the High Evolutionary, I thought, was an interesting one, looking at kind of corporations and what we're seeing today and in our economic society. There was some interesting parallels that I thought Gunn was probably trying to make there, with some commentary.
Yeah, you understand him and you hate him for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's just zero empathy.
It's nice because we've talked about that on a lot of different episodes, but Disney has been so afraid to make a truly bad villain, and in this they're just yeah, he's a bad guy.
Yeah,
he has a motivation, but he's a bad guy. There's no middle ground there.
Right.
So I just really appreciated that they finally were yeah, we can make villains again. It's fine.
Well, I hope they see the kind of reception from it. And again, not that any creative shouldn't have that opportunity to say, I want to make my villain empathetic, understandable. Or, on the flip side, they should also be able to say, no, I want to make him a total piece of crap and, not redeemable. There are room for both of those kinds of storytelling and those characters in our movies, so...
Agreed. I also and this is kind of going to bleed over into pros and cons here, but I just really appreciate how much of this film feels like a James Gunn film. The MCU has felt kind of cookie cutter. This is our formula. This is what you have to have in it. You have to add these extra characters here. And you kind of talked about this with Iron Man too, but they did a good job of keeping the focus on the Guardians, as well as it really did feel like James Gunn was allowed to tell the story he wanted to tell. And I haven't felt that from an MCU movie recently. So it was just really refreshing to go in. The movie starts and I'm yeah, this is what James Gunn wanted to make. It didn't feel like this is what Marvel's telling him to do.
Yeah.
And it's kind of one of those things, it's you know what it is when you see it. It's hard to explain it. But when you watch it, I think if you've not watched it and you hear me say that, you'll know when you watch it. It'll make sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think there's... Marvel plays this weird line with its directors. Because I think kind of after a director does two things that are... Or maybe it doesn't have to be two. If a director does something that's really, really well received, I think they're given a lot more free reign. And you see that in something I think you see something like Ragnarok led to Love and Thunder for Taika. And there's a lot of Taika in Love and Thunder. I think there's too much Taika in Love and Thunder. But in a similar way, Gunn is able to, but I think he just writes so much more interesting characters that you care about and change. And I really appreciated what they did with Gamora in this movie.
Yeah.
I think under many other writer directors, her character would have been such a standard. She's the goal for Quill, right? And in this one, it's that's there, that tension of oh, we were in a thing and now we're not, and I don't remember, but it's. Will is so single-mindedly focused still on
his
mission,
his quest. Yes.
His quest.
Yeah, I really appreciated how everything with Gamora was handled in this.
Well, I mean, Gunn even talked about it,
great.
With Infinity War, how he didn't really
like
how Star-Lord was written, and how all that went down. And I think he helped a little bit, but he's Star-Lord he's not an idiot.
Yeah,
he's a goofy guy, but he's he's a good leader. He's a cold-blooded killer, and you got a lot of that in this, where like it is Infinity War. Like he would have just shot her. Like,
Yeah.
Like he understood.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Do we want to run into some pros and cons real quick?
Sure. Who's kicking it off?
well, I already said one of mine, which was character movie, not
Mhm.
end of the world movie. It's so fresh. I feel like every movie in Phase 4 and 5 is, I guess, outside of Black Panther, maybe, which was just but has been. The universe is gonna be destroyed if we don't stop them.
Yeah.
Um,
Sorry, I was just thinking like, oh, not Black Widow, oh, but kind of Black Widow.
Yeah.
yeah,
But actually,
Yeah.
they really did kind of go there, didn't they?
They did. Big time.
Ugh.
Yeah.
like they needed to stop Wanda because of the incursions and Love and Thunder. He was going to touch eternity and kill everybody. I don't even remember. Ant-Man was gonna
Kang was going to kill everyone.
kill everybody, and
You said character movie. I want to take that and kind of go over just a little
spread that jam over some
spread
nice
spread that
toast.
jam there and say like the depth of characters across the board, right? Like the depth of we got, I think Kraglin is one of like the most underrated characters in this franchise. Nebula is like Karen Gillan is fantastic.
Yes.
And she is like delivering some like amazing performances, especially over the course of all of the movies. But even in here too, like I just think she's great. Cosmo, who has a very small role.
Cosmo.
Love Cosmo. Like the way Gunn writes his supporting cast, his supporting characters, really he does a great job of making them feel relevant and not just little side things to like make a joke here and there.
Mhm.
Which they do. I mean, they do make the jokes. That's definitely Gunn's forte, but at the same time, like you care about them. Like you care about Cosmo and Kraglin and their little tiff.
That joke works though too, because
It does.
like how
It's
would
such
a dog
good joke.
react?
It's
Yeah.
such
Like-
a good
Yeah.
joke.
If a dog could talk to you when you say it, yeah, absolutely. No,
You take that back.
no, that was great. I'll jump into my first pro, and I have been a very firm not in the Chris Pratt camp,
Mhm.
but I think Chris Pratt is fantastic in this movie.
He is
Great. This is probably the best I've ever seen him.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I
Like-
think it's probably his best performance.
I mean, it was just. This movie is not as funny as the other two, and it's not trying to be.
No.
It's still funny, but like this is a much more serious Guardians movie, and Chris Pratt just nails the tone of what they're going for in this. Like he's still Star-Lord,
Mm-hmm.
but he's so like emotionally wrapped up in what's happening, and I thought Chris Pratt just conveyed that perfectly.
Yeah.
I'll also add, performances as a whole in this are great.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a single bad character in this.
I was really
It
worried
like blows
about.
my mind because it's got a lot of people.
Yeah. Like the one I shouldn't have been. I know I shouldn't have been, but Batista's been pretty like, I'm not coming. Like this is the last thing I'm doing with Marvel Disney ever, right? Like he's been very upset with them, and so I was a little nervous, but at the same time, like he's going to bat for James.
Yeah,
and
he loves Gunn.
He's gonna give it all. So and he did. So like,
Oh man, he was good.
yeah.
and
I cried too many times during this movie too. he was one of the big parts of it that made me cry, which was kind of surprising.
That didn't surprise me.
there's a
Well, knowing the context, going in, if you hadn't seen the movie, you'd be like,
what you're talking about when we got there, I was like, oh, that's so good. It's gonna wreck Tyler.
it killed me. Yeah.
this movie was full of just emotional heart rippings,
Yeah, it's like one of
and
those.
I loved it.
Yeah, no, it's one of those movies like you finish it and you're like, I'm gonna go cry in the car. I think about things for a little while.
It's one of those it's a movie where I walked out of there and I was like, I famously and still don't really like Guardians 2. There's some good stuff in there,
Me too.
but I think overall it's pretty weak, and it's one of those like I kind of feel like Gunn hit his stride with these characters, and I want to see more. But at the same time, I think maybe the sacrifice for getting this as good as it is because it's the last one.
Yeah.
You give 115 million% because it's the end.
Yeah, you're done. You're done.
And that is how you get it to be so good.
Yeah.
Versus it's just another, dime in the machine.
Yep.
And I'm really happy we've added, what's his name? The guy who plays High Evolution.
Chukwudi Iwuji.
How do you... Where the heck are the people listening?
I did the name pronunciation.
Chukwudi Iwuji. It's right here.
Last week.
Chukwudi Iwuji.
Chukwudi Iwuji. He's in the Gunn
Yes.
camp now, and I'm just
Yes.
happy because he
He's
was
so
awesome
good.
in Peacemaker, and he was freaking awesome in this.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen the thing where he's talking about like his dog and how he's like he felt horrible for playing the character he played
because he loves animals.
He went I think it was it was when he was doing ADR and he was like, yeah, and it shows like Rocket's eyes. He's like, and all I could see was my dog's eyes, and it just made me feel like a horrible person.
Gosh, that's
Wow.
awesome.
It's a pretty good interview, but yeah, no, I mean he's great. I'm with you. I'm really happy that him, Daniela Melanchor, she's in it now. Melchor,
Will Poulter's now in the crew.
also good.
Maria,
I liked Will
Bakalova.
Poulter.
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised by how much I liked Will Poulter.
I really liked him too, and I was
He was
kind of bummed he wasn't in it more.
me too.
Mhm.
So, like, spoiler, he does not have a very big role.
No, but he's
And-
cool.
Yeah, he was great when he was there. I loved, like how he was acting like a 3-year-old.
Yeah, he's kind of dumb. Yeah,
It's like just
Just staring off.
show him we're serious. Whoa.
Yeah, the how they tie everything back to even like the second one with the Sovereign, and because you have that tease of Adam Warlock at the end of number 2.
Yeah.
Like, is he gonna be the big bad? And it's like that. I think that's the predictable route.
Yep.
And like a more interesting route is exploring why is Rocket the way he is. And
Such a good story.
and they've been
how does
leading
that
up
affect
to
the
like
rest of the team?
they've been leading up to the Rocket. Like the arc is his of the 3 movies,
Yeah.
really.
The emotional crescendo of this is all about Rocket.
And then we learned so much about him in this, and like you knew it was going to be horrible, and it is.
Any other positives or quick cons?
I got a quick couple pros here. I think it's a really good conclusion. Without spoiling things, I will say I just like that. I like the conclusion for multiple reasons, but one being that they can still proceed with more stories if they want to.
Sure.
Because I think the easy thing to do is to just kill everyone. Like, how do we get people in their feelings? Well, we just kill people. And I just really appreciate
we
that.
need more Tony Stark moments, right?
Right.
And it does feel like they didn't take the easy way out on this.
Agreed. And then the last thing, and I feel like this is always a pro in any James Gunn movie, is music.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, the song at the end
Oh,
got me bad. Oh man.
I feel like this is a good one. And I was like, ooh, what's it going to be? And then he hits play, and I was like, no!
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good music as usual.
I loved Rocket's friends.
Yep. Again, like good supporting cast.
Yeah.
Great,
Because
yeah.
they all have emotional connections to each character, like, and especially Rocket and his 3. But that goes for the rest of the supporting cast too, and how they all intertwine so well with each other.
Yeah. And I loved their designs. Like, some of them are kind of freaky looking, but I still want to cuddle them.
Yeah.
Specifically, the rabbit.
Floor.
Yeah,
No.
Floor.
No, I want to cuddle the otter.
Oh,
Dude,
well,
otters are so... Our zoo has otters, and you go They're always just swimming.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
just play all the time.
Luke's happy place at the
That
Otter
zoo?
exhibit.
Oh, well, just the zoo.
Oh, okay.
I do have 2 cons as well, and they're probably more nitpicks than they are truly cons. One of them, no Star-Lord mask.
Oh,
He explained that. Did you see?
No.
I missed it.
I'll wait for spoilers,
who did?
probably.
Gun?
Gunn.
Oh, okay.
He got asked about it on Twitter.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, it was in his desk at nowhere. And,
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
like, things happened, so he just didn't have it on him.
The other thing, without going into detail, we can talk about it in spoilers if we want to. I would have liked to seen like a little more of a moment between Star-Lord and Rocket after things.
I would have, and this is going to make very little sense for those of you who haven't seen the movie. I would have liked to see more Rocket. I think it kind of undercuts what they did. I think kind of undercuts some of the emotional growth that could have been there, and not that it was not how they got us emotionally. I'm not gonna go so low to call it cheap, but I think it was an easier route than what they could have done, and I think that would have been stronger. That said, still fantastic. I loved it.
Yeah, no, like I'm okay with what I got. I just think we could have used a little bit bigger of a moment.
Yeah, that's fair.
My opinion, but I still like what I got.
Same. All right, let's jump into some spoilers here.
Do we
This
want to
is
give
your-
ratings before spoilers?
Oh, you're so logical and knowledgeable.
Get that
and
out of you.
wise.
I'm back.
Luke, what do you got?
I feel like we're all doing the same thing with this movie.
I'm going to give it a booyah. Just, it's hard to give a movie that's the third in a trilogy, but then also the 27th or
Yeah.
something in a saga. But I think it's just so well made. The emotional connection is there. And honestly, like, if you haven't seen the Avengers movies, they explain Gamora real quick. They say, this is what happened. Here we go.
I think that's what is an additional pro. Good call. You don't, like, just watch the Guardians movies. This works.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Watch the Guardians movie and the holiday special. And this
Yeah.
works. And really, you don't even have to watch the holiday special. It explains, like, one thing.
The holiday special was kind of an explanation of Mantis and Star-Lord's relationship.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
The
and to kind of
family.
prep people that like, hey, nowhere is their home base now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like those are the two things that it really kind of reveals, and then it gives you a brief introduction to Cosmo, but even that's very brief.
Yeah.
So
I'm with Luke here. I'm giving this a booyah. I've been back and forth teetering. Dana asked me this weekend. She's like, "What do you think?" And I was like, "Man, I don't know. I'm so back and forth." But after like sleeping on it, thinking about it a little bit, this is a booyah. I think it's really good.
yeah, 3 for 3, booyah.
Nice.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Is the MCU back?
Even with the one con, which I will explain in much greater detail here in spoilers, I still think it's great. It has enough characters that my one. If this was like a 3-character movie, I think it would struggle. But because it can really flesh out that emotion through these other characters, it does a good job. So, booyah as well. All right, Tyler, you good? Missed something?
I don't know where my keys are.
Oh, brah. Probably
In the ignition.
left him in the car. This is your
next to it.
warning to get out for spoilers. Just don't. I mean, you can leave. It won't hurt our feelings.
Or if you're one of those people who don't mind spoilers.
My wife loves spoilers.
Dana's that way.
I don't understand it.
Dana's
but
that
you
way
know
too.
what? More power to you. We're gonna spoil this movie.
So strange.
We're gonna spoil the crap out of this movie. Okay, so my big con, is that for the entire second act, Rocket is unconscious, and I kind of go back and forth about it, but I just think that it doesn't. His decision at the end, I feel like there's no real. We're expected as the audience to carry that emotional arc, and we feel it because it's baby animals that are cute and they're doing horrible things to them, and of course, any sane person would feel emotion about that, right?
Yeah.
But I think what I wanted to see was Rocket wrestling with that more. And he's wrestled with it kind of subconsciously and in small moments throughout the entire trilogy. This is where Guardians 2, I think, has its best stuff, is the stuff with Rocket.
Yes. Agreed.
But we just don't get to really see it. It's like he comes out of a coma and is a badass hero, and then he gets to make the decision not to kill the High Evolutionary, which is great. Like, that's a good moment. I just don't think it was.
Oh, he didn't save him either. He's dead.
Well, okay, fine. He didn't have to kill him, right? Like, it's the Batman Begins thing. I don't have to kill you, but I don't have to save you either.
But what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
So yeah, that's really my one con, is I just would have liked to see more of him in the second act. But like I said, there are plenty of other characters for you to kind of go on this journey with. They do have great back and forth. It allows, I think, more time for like Nebula and Star-Lord to Peter to really bond there. Mantis and Drax have the best relationship. I love their friendship. It's great. But yeah, it's kind of my one con. So, anyways, whatever. Who cares?
I see where you're coming from, but I think I disagree. Mainly because, not for Rocket reasons, though.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like if you bring him back too quick, him dying doesn't feel as dangerous.
You have to change the stakes, for sure. I would agree.
And
you have to change the stakes.
Also, with the flashbacks, we're not really just learning about Rocket, we're learning about the High Evolutionary.
Sure.
That's all of our context for him is in those scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And so later we meet him in the third act and he's RoboCop.
Yeah.
Which prosthetics looked great.
Yeah.
They looked really good.
And more Rocket is always good.
Yes.
But I think what we're given, which is the context in the past and how he became who he is, how the High Evolutionary became who he is really, really good.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to sacrifice that for sure. Yeah, you would it would be a pretty major change in terms of how you would structure things, because you would have to have something like Adam Warlock would have to be a constant threat probably throughout the second act. Instead, he's the instigator for the movie to really get going.
Then he gets stabbed and
he
cries and goes home to mom.
Goes home to mom for a while, and that is hilarious. I love that relationship that he has with the Sovereign Queen, whatever her name is.
Yeah, it's. I'm with you. Like, I see where both of you guys are coming from. I was fine with it. It didn't bother me, but I definitely get what you're saying.
At the end of the day, I still ranked it a booyah. So
I think my biggest thing is like, this sounds weird, but I don't know how I would change it.
Yeah, my change is all like this hypothetical. I think it could make it better, but it might not.
Yeah,
I feel like
my guess is it would feel more formulaic, actually, and probably I would be disappointed. I would be like, oh well, I just kind of felt like another by the numbers thing where there was this bad guy who was constantly after them and he was always overpowering them, and then yada 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 yada.
I also wonder how much money it saved him on Bradley Cooper.
Well, Bradley Cooper did a lot of the young Rocket voice acting.
But Sean Gunn did. That's what they've come out and said.
I thought he was the baby.
No, I think they had a kid do like Baby Rocket, and then they had Sean Gunn do Young Rocket, and then Bradley was hair in my mouth.
It's because you got it all over your face.
Sean Gunn is Young Rocket.
I do need a shave.
Baby Rocket is a kid, yeah. Noah Raskin.
Oh.
And Bradley Cooper is just.
I don't feel like Bradley Cooper is the actor that you're worried about saving money on in this movie. You're hiring him to come in for a couple days worth of ADR.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think too the problem, like, I wanted more Adam Warlock because I really liked him too, and I feel like the only thing you can really do is just make it longer, and then you just get into pacing problems.
Yeah,
too,
for sure.
Which I think was the problem of the second one. Was like it felt long. Like, I even like the stuff with Peter and his dad. It's like,
It's a little exposition heavy.
let's go. But yeah.
What'd you guys think of the third act? I'm curious with the Hellspawn and
Encounter Earth.
Counter Earth stuff.
Counter Earth was hilarious.
Yes.
Counter Earth was great.
The little panda dude was cracking me up. He was just like, he looked in that constant state of panic the whole time he was on screen. I was like, this is great. It was, I loved we didn't really talk about this at all in pros. I would put this as a pro. The first F-bomb in the MCU was
my goodness.
fantastic. It was
Open the door.
fantastic. I love that they didn't dwell on it.
Yeah.
I love the joke that it's a part of.
I love they don't make a big deal about it.
No, they
It's
just move
like,
through it. Yeah, it's like,
and
it's
we're
just
on.
a line and we're going. Like,
And it's where somebody would say it in real life, too.
for sure.
Yeah.
But like, and to follow it up, it's Gamora sitting in the cockpit looking down as he's like stalling out the car. It's like, like driving down the road. I was like, this is great. Like I thought all the Counter Earth stuff was really good.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it a lot. I loved the bit where Drax is on the motorcycle.
Oh.
And he's like, I'm not by the ship. And she's like, well, where are you? And
Right here.
yeah, like, I don't know. I thought Batista was really good in this. I love the use of Drax. The whole couch bit was so funny. I find it very hard to believe that there's not more than one use for this thing. Like, the whole Drax and the whole Counter Earth segment was just fantastic. And
The Drax joke that got me.
was it Second Best Friend? Because that one was also good.
No, it was right before they drive off a motorcycle, and he was like, just get on, I'll drive you over to the ship. Because I was like, oh, he's just going to drive over to the ship, and it's going to be a dumb, 5-second drive.
Yeah.
But then he drove off, and I was like, okay, they got me. That I really liked that one.
It kind of, you talked about a lot, like, the cast as a whole, what James Gunn does with his, like, the group of characters that he has. Like, I really like how Drax is used in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, a lot. And not just for the line that, of course, would wreck me, but, like, just his jokes aren't, I don't know, I don't think they're dumb jokes. I think they're actually really good and well written.
Yeah.
And I'm with you on him and Mantis. Just so much fun together.
Yeah.
I hope that at some point we get some, we won't because Dave is definitely done.
Yeah.
But I would love to get like a little, what are they called on Disney Plus? A little limited special things.
Yeah.
Like I would
Special
love to get
presentation?
special presentation.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'd love to get a special presentation with them too.
Yeah. That would be fun.
Of him running the orphanage.
Yes, yeah, like something dumb like that. Like
He
I
learned
like-
on Counter Earth how to play dodgeball.
Yeah.
He's teaching on the play dodgeball at the orphanage.
Yes.
The
I'm
one
so
that
in.
got me with those two was in the second act where it was like, you're desperately in love with him.
Oh man,
Oh
that was
my
so good.
gosh.
Again,
Yeah.
like,
He's
this
just
is
like-
a thing. This is a thing that they do.
Yeah.
And he knows how to put up with it now. And
Mhm.
it's so good.
Yeah, I'm with you. With
Man.
Dude, the entire heist sequence I thought was great. And I thought they did a great job with payoffs too.
you. I have one of those too. I mean, I
Yeah.
get it. Like, I think the second act is like the heist situation is probably where there's the most comedy,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and I thought it was so good.
I
It wasn't toilet humor, which
No,
I appreciated.
yeah.
Like, because Guardians 2 is a lot of toilet humor,
Mm-hmm.
and this was not that, which is
I loved the
awesome.
joke of how Star-Lord was flirting with the
Oh
receptionist.
yeah.
And
rat
Gamora's just
catcher?
like, yeah, Gamora's just like, he's just trying to do this for me, whatever. And it
Yeah,
worked.
that works.
He's just like, told you.
Told you she was into me.
There was a lot of cameos in that scene.
Yeah.
His wife was there. Fillion was there. Ratcatcher was there.
Dude, the bit where his wife gets shot made me laugh
It's just-
so hard. I was like, oh, I was not expecting that.
Dude, I freaking loved an unhinged Gamora.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where she's just like, I don't freaking care.
Ravager Gamora is fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Probably my favorite version of the
Yeah.
character that we've seen. And it's an extremely small amount, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I'd love to see more.
But I do, like, since we're in spoilers now, I definitely want to talk about Gamora and kind of how she's used in this.
Yeah.
Really, you kind of alluded, I think you alluded to this. I really appreciate that they don't end up together
Yeah.
in the end. Like, they have that moment. I bet we were a lot of fun. I just love that like Gunn was handed that card. It was like, that's what you gotta do, man.
Yeah.
And he was able to use it so well and so effectively. Like her whole, because it's really easy to assume at the end of this she's just gonna go with the Guardians.
Yeah.
But the fact that she doesn't just works so well and like really sends it home.
But then like she still like established a friendship.
Yeah.
There, and like she can understand Groot and.
Yep. Oh yeah, Groot.
Groot's line at the end where it's like now the audience understands him.
I
That
did
was
not
so cool.
catch, like, I didn't think that's what Gunn was doing. I thought it was just like at the first one where it's like, we are Groot, except like it's just like, I love you guys. Like, oh, it's like it's the last one. We're gonna let you hear it. Then he like people were talking about that, and I was like, oh.
I was really
Emotional dagger post movie.
I'm glad he says I love you guys. I'm really bummed it didn't have a family line in there. I was like, man, that would have been so good.
I feel like Gunn probably thought about it and
He
immediately
definitely
threw it out.
They definitely,
Yeah.
I bet they recorded it, and then they were like, "Nah, we're not."
I
doing
bet
this.
Vin, even if there was nothing written down, Vin was probably like just throwing out some like, every like 5 lines. He was like, "You guys are my family,"
and Gunn was probably like, "Dude, stop."
Oh, Gunn was probably laughing his
I'm
ass
sure.
off.
Yeah. No, I think
ride or die.
biggest thing that comes through in this movie is just how much this cast loves each other, and it pops on the screen. You can tell, and as sad as I am that this is over, I'm so excited.
It's super bittersweet.
Yeah, very bittersweet, but very also excited to see what James does with DC and a different cast of characters that you can
Different
play
franchise.
with. Yeah.
Some other things I really, really liked. Just like the action. Super hard hitting. It's brutal.
It's good, yeah.
Oh, he's violent.
Dude,
Yeah.
when Warlock shows up, he's wrecking stuff.
Yeah.
Arms getting broken, necks getting snapped
Yeah.
back. I was like, yo, this is crazy.
The one-shot action sequence, I think, was really well done.
The hallway.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the heist, during the
And
heist scene.
that was awesome. And then, like, the super brutal scene is when Rocket's just going to town on the High Evolutionary.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. I didn't think we were going to see his face. That was pretty gross.
This, when you talked about seeing Gunn's, like, fingerprints all over this, like, he leans into some of the gruesome things.
He'll push
and
the
I
PG-13.
appreciated it. Like,
big time.
the Hellspawn were not fun to look at.
Gunn is willing to kill the cute, cuddly characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 of them were off screen.
Yeah. Oh, but Lila.
I also like the one he
freaking
voiced. Yeah, Lila was.
The super gross looking one. Going, you're so beautiful.
There was something else behind you that scared me. It wasn't you.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude. You see it coming. You know it's coming.
Oh, yeah. You're just kind of waiting for it.
You're waiting for the cute animals to die. And then it happens. You're just like, no, why?
James Gunn loves torturing people with animals.
Yeah. And I freaking loved, like, Rocket Switch, too.
Yeah.
When he just goes from cute, cuddly raccoon to cold-blooded
And I don't know if that's
machine
if
gun
that
wielding
was
killer.
Gunn or not Gunn, Bradley Cooper or Sean Gunn in that moment when he switches, when he loses his friends. But that was an excellent bit of A, voice acting, and B, CGI work, character work, animation. Like, it all came together really, really well, and it made me feel for this completely animated character.
We didn't even say it. This movie looks great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, the CG's been so bad for Marvel lately, and this movie looks awesome.
Yep.
There's not a moment where I was like, that looks bad.
Yeah.
I thought all of this looked good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's a director that knows how to work
Yeah.
with CG.
And
says,
mocap,
okay, I know this is going to be CG, so we're going to film this way.
He knows how to hide it a little bit.
Gunn's done it for like 4 straight movies, and a show.
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Well, I think probably working on, coming from lower budget movies, and B, working on TV with Peacemaker, probably also helped him really hone in, like, how do you make a dollar? How do you stretch a dollar, right? And it looks great overall. Fantastic. Because I was worried about that as well going in.
That's like a worry for every movie now.
Yeah. It's a little bit like, okay, they're going to spend a lot of money on the first act. You don't want that to be like a first impression, but like, what does the second act look like?
Where are the trailer shots? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. Any other final thoughts before we move on?
Post-credit scene.
Oh yeah.
One was Star-Lord went home. Peter went home. Saw his grandpa. Also,
I cried.
I loved that the newspaper was Kevin Bacon talking about getting abducted by aliens. But also, like, the legendary Star-Lord will return. It's like, great, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I think, like, I've been in the Chris Pratt, he's good now, road for a while. Right, that you should watch Terminal List.
I know.
Great.
This made me definitely more likely to watch it.
And, like, he's even great in Mario. And everybody was
good at Mario.
crapping on him that he's going to be terrible. And he was great in that movie. I really hope he comes back for another one.
You ready for him to be Crypto? Did you see that?
Yeah. I don't think he'll be Crypto, though.
I don't think so either.
Crypto also doesn't talk.
So. James had that funny...
Well, I don't know what Gun's going to do.
Right. So. James had that funny, like... They were kind of going back and forth, and then Gunn was like, ooh, I kind of let that slip. And then Chris Pratt was like, well, breaking news, guys. Crypto's going to be in Gunn's Superman movie.
We did already do that, though.
Yeah, but it was just funny that Pratt was the one who basically broke it.
Dude, their interviews have been hilarious.
It's always good to see, people out on press and just having fun.
Yeah.
Again, it speaks to just this cast and how much they love each other.
Mm-hmm.
The other post-credit scene was the new team.
Yeah.
Rocket's now the leader, which I think is awesome.
Yep. Much deserved.
Groot is still part of the team.
Dude, Groot looks awesome. Groot looks so sick, dude. I was like, oh.
What's this one called? Like,
he's going to wreck stuff. Oh, Flying Groot was dope, too.
Yeah.
That was cool.
That was pretty cool.
Let's see, who else was there? Adam Warlock was there.
Yep.
Which I think will be a lot of fun. The new girl, we don't know anything about her.
Oh, yeah, one of the orphans.
And then Kraglin.
Kraglin. And Cosmo.
And Cosmo, that's right. I'll always take more Cosmo.
Yeah. Yeah, that's, it's one of those things where they're not getting their own movie, but I can't wait. I sure hope they get to show up in something as a team.
I feel like they'll pop up in Kang Dynasty or
exactly.
Secret Wars or something. Who is she?
Secret Wars is an intergalactic thing. That makes sense. Although apparently no one in Marvel actually talks to each other about the movies and films they're making.
The Captain Marvel of her reality.
Oh.
But she's
she'll be the fourth.
She's just in the Guardians movie though. She's just an experiment of the High Evolutionary.
Okay. So cool. Yeah, highly recommend this movie.
Yes.
I had a lot of fun with it.
We had a person who had telekinesis powers. It was gravity powers, but they moved stuff with their mind powers, technology. You know what? And they used it.
Yeah, it was great.
Which was awesome. And I thought it was really cool how, like, they even showed Rocket was kind of ready for him.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, he's been preparing his whole life to kind of go fight this guy again. It just immediately whoops him.
Yeah.
It's like, so you can gravity boots.
They're like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm testing out these gravity boots to see if they really work. I was like, oh, interesting.
I just hate it when there's a like we talked about this with Ant-Man.
Mm-hmm.
And we could probably talk about this with, like, WandaVision. But you got a character that has telekinesis and just lift somebody up. They just decide to not use it anymore. Like, I'm going to shoot a beam.
Sparkle fingers.
So I just appreciated that he kept using his same move. It was his only move, but he kept using it.
Right.
He also, like, exploded at one point. Like, kinetic explosion or something. I don't know. It was cool.
Gravity
Bomb.
boom. Bomb. That's the word I was trying to think of.
Gravity boom.
Gravity boom.
Gravity boom. But yeah, loved it. Cried a lot. I'm sure I'll cry again.
I can't wait to watch it again, honestly.
I can't wait to go see it again, too. I was gone all weekend, so I was a little sad I couldn't.
You saw it Thursday night, didn't you?
I saw it Friday morning.
Friday morning.
Oh, that's
Nice.
right. Yeah.
Nice.
Dude, there was nobody there.
I
It
went-
was great.
I
Finally,
went
a
yesterday.
good Marvel experience.
Yes.
Right?
I haven't had one of those in so long.
I sat on the end of an aisle. Like, I was like, I'm going to sit all the way over.
Just so that,
Away from everyone.
yes.
Get me out of here. Because
Yeah.
I went to the Sunday at 11:20 showing.
We didn't have we didn't see it in IMAX. We saw it in the big, the main theater.
Yeah.
And there were people there, but it wasn't packed. We had room around us. I felt like I could safely cry next to Stephanie, who was also crying,
Good.
sobbing together.
Good.
Good movie. Okay,
Great movie.
let's move on to news, because we're here at minute 58. So,
Really is great having friends. Love that quote.
I think the big news of the week was that the writer's strike officially happened.
Yeah.
Put me in, coach. I'm ready.
My favorite thing, not really my favorite thing, but kind of. My favorite thing that's come out of this is like all the production halts and people reporting them as news.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, Stranger Things halts production. It's like, well, yeah. It's like, what
And
do
then
you
you have the other side.
mean?
Well, the ones that are news are the ones that
Aren't.
aren't halting,
Yeah.
and it like terrifies me because
Yeah.
there's all three things I'm looking forward to.
What movies or shows are still working?
Rings of Power season 2
Oh boy.
House of the Dragon season 2.
I don't care.
and/or season 2.
That's Rings of Power and Andor.
Those are the ones
still
that
going is a big bummer.
really
Yeah.
scares me.
Yeah.
Unless they're like in their bag, they're like,
Look,
we know what we're doing.
If the script is that tight and the production team crew is that good, and I could see that with Andor. It's Tony Gilroy putting together a team. They're gonna effing know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
They're all gonna be on the same page.
that one I'm
Less
worried
Yeah.
about than the like. This is season 2 of our $1 billion show that we're really just continuing because we really need this to be out in Q3 of 24, right? Like, that one makes me nervous, man.
I'm glad Severance stopped.
Well, Severance may have.
That one made me sad though. Still,
That was in
Yeah.
that's in trouble for a whole other reasons as well.
Why?
Well, apparently, like, the two co-creators are essentially a feud.
Ben Stiller and who?
No, like, it's not Stiller. It's the actual like showrunners.
Oh.
Are like having a real hard time working together, and so maybe this is good because it's gonna let them cool off a little bit. But basically, one of them was ready to go at the end of season 1, and Stiller and everyone else kind of talked him back in, and he's having a real hard time in season 2. So that one is
kick him out.
It's good that this is paused probably because it's gonna allow them to
Work through
some things. But we'll be seeing a whole less of new stuff here in about a year and a half. I'll be curious to see how long this
You'll
strike
see
goes.
less good stuff.
Yeah.
There'll still be stuff.
That's fair.
Brett, for the people in the back who might not know,
Yeah.
what is the strike about?
So every X amount of years,
I kind of know, but
they renegotiate. The union renegotiates their contract with the big production companies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so at the end of April was when their last contract was up. Now, they had been working for at least a year, probably more, on negotiating new terms, right? And a lot of those terms have to do with how especially
it was-
TV has changed in the streaming era.
because now I saw like people talking. It's like we used to write 20 episodes for an ABC show, and now we write 4
Mm-hmm.
for a streamer.
So back in the day, right, you'd get hired on to a writer's room. You'd be on there during pre-production. You'd write, kind of the pilot. You'd start working through things. That show would start airing, and you would still be writing, right? Like you would be working through production. You would have, probably 6 months of solid work, right? And you would be employed that whole time. And now, because it's structured differently with streaming and there's less episodes, it's typically you come in, they want you to essentially write the script, all of the episodes, hand it to them, and they're going to take it, right? And you're not staying, they're not employing you while they film it, while it's in production.
Oh, I saw speaking of that, I saw one of the writers. She wrote, I think, 3 episodes of Jane the Virgin, and her royalty check was 3 cents.
Right. So the other big
30 cents.
3 cents.
Oh my
Yeah.
god!
So the other big thing with streaming
So
is
bad.
residuals,
It was
right?
way lower than even I thought.
Yeah.
It's because how they used to be set up is you would get decent pay when it would be aired on TBS, even 10 years later. But a show could be out for 7 days on ABC. It goes to Hulu. It gets millions of views, and they're not getting any residuals for those. So they're trying to work those kinds of things. There's always talk about like healthcare and that kind of stuff. Essentially, they're really trying to avoid
I'm sure
gig economy.
a check has got to cost more than 3 cents to make.
Yeah.
In this economy, definitely.
Paper's expensive.
Paper
That's why
is
everybody's
expensive.
going digital.
Yeah.
Should have went direct deposit.
But yeah, it's interesting. I was talking with one of my other buddies who was like, why does it seem like the writers are the ones that are always striking?
Because they're the ones that are making the show.
Well, there's a number of unions out in Hollywood, but they're the ones who are kind of constantly on the verge of like getting shafted. Like the studios are always trying to figure out how do we not have to send more residuals out. Mm-hmm. Actors, you're not going to win that fight, right? Like they're your stars. Directors, producers, they're the ones that are making it, so they get to make the rules. Mm-hmm. Then you have like the grips and PAs and more the crew, and they don't have a lot of power. That's why you don't see them strike, because while they could really ruin the industry, they also don't make enough to be able to afford to actually strike. The writers are they're right on the cusp of they make enough that they can survive. They talk about strike. They've known that this is a possibility for at least 6 months. So they've been pocketing as much cash as they can, because now they get paid enough that they can do that, still live, and be able to strike for 3 to 6 months. So that's why writers are the ones that tend to strike, because they can actually afford to do it.
I feel like they're also the ones that get the least credit for anything.
Yeah,
nobody ever talks like
and far
this? Like
as so far of like above the line kind of credit. You're absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's always. It seems like it's always really the director.
For sure. Sorry, I'm real hot and sweaty after that rant.
Take off the hoodie.
No, man, I don't got anything
Take off
underneath
your
this
pants.
Take off your glasses.
hoodie. And now I can't see. What other news stories you guys got? That's kind of the big one, but
I got 2 small ones.
yeah, hit me with them.
The SWAT TV show on CBS
Got canceled.
got canceled. Then 2 days later, picked up for a final season at CBS.
You know what that means?
They saw the fan backlash and they were like, "Woo!"
No, that means that they're confident enough that the show is formulaic enough that they don't really
writer's
have to
strike.
write it.
Yeah.
We can chat GPT that, which is another like AI and
This is a
and
writer's
is
strike
also
proof
writer's
show.
strike stuff, right? Like they're trying to guarantee that they won't have to compete with AI.
Yeah.
Type of a deal.
That could cause a bigger problem.
Yeah, really could.
Here's a more interesting...
I see their AI commercials on Twitter. I get less and less confident every time I see one of those. More confident I'm gonna throw up.
Here's another interesting news story that I find strange. Carl Urban is rumored to be Johnny Cage in the sequel to Mortal Kombat.
Interesting.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I
I
don't.
don't care about that series enough to have an opinion, so like bring it on.
I just love Carl Urban.
Yeah,
so-
I like Carl Urban a lot. I like Mortal Kombat a lot. The weird thing to me is, well, he should have been Kano.
Listen, I actually do care about one thing about with all this, and it's I just am glad they didn't cast Ryan Reynolds.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought they were gonna go with the guy, the Miz, the wrestler dude. I thought they were gonna go with him. And I think he had campaigned for it a little bit. But I'm cool with this. Like, I don't think it's a bad casting. It's just very different than what I would expect them to do.
Subverting expectations.
Yes. Next thing you know, it'll be announced that Ryan Johnson's directing it.
What?
That would be so sick.
Who said that? Who said that?
No, it's an interesting casting choice. But if Carl Urban's signing on to it, it makes me think maybe there's some hope for a decent movie. Probably not.
Oh, I guess the first one was decent. It was.
It's
a lot
not
of fun.
horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you're Brett, you thought it was horrible.
Yeah. The movie I want from Mortal Kombat is the whole beginning thing with Scorpion and Sub-Zero. That's the movie I want. But I'll watch whatever they give us.
Is this one going to be a tournament? Tournament?
I think so, yes. I think they've said that it'll be the actual tournament. Which is why Johnny Cage would be there. Because he's a movie star.
He has to die in the
Probably
tournament.
not able to get work because of the writer's strike.
Dude, they should write that in. That would be so funny.
I love it.
Hollywood's on a writer's strike now, so I don't have a job. So I'm here to kick some ass.
Luke, did you have any news stories?
I don't have any written down, but I remembered one, which
Ooh.
is Sweet Tooth Season 3 was announced.
That's awesome.
Yep.
I
It's
did
the
not know
final season. So they're ending on Season 3. And it's relevant because Season 2 just came out. It was great. Talk about that later.
Good. Did it come out like last week?
2 weeks ago?
2 weeks?
maybe?
Okay.
It came out the weekend I was playing Jedi
Survivor.
Survivor.
Nice.
Speaking of which, I guess we could just kind of hop over to our weekly update stuff. Did you beat it?
I beat it.
And what'd you think?
I freaking loved it. It kind of wasn't what I expected, story wise, which was really cool. I think Cal's an awesome character. And they're doing some really interesting things with him, like him not really. It feels like he doesn't trust himself, kind of like with his light versus darkness. Especially when you get to the end and he gets kind of mad. And this is a slight spoiler for just like your abilities. But if you have a super, and if you click both joysticks, you create a slow field. And at a point in the game that amplifies, and it's called Embrace Your Darkness. But it's so much fun. The combat is amazing. I have so much fun, and I know I'm in the minority, and I'm not ashamed. But I primarily use just a single bladed lightsaber. I think it's and no blaster, just it's the one.
Can you dual wield?
Yes.
In this one? Okay.
Dual wield is super cool because, like, you're locked into your moves. If you attack, you're attacking. But with dual wield, since you have two, you can swing and parry.
That is sick.
You take more damage.
Yeah.
Like, intrinsically. So, like, if you were to get hit with any other lightsaber, you take 10 damage, let's say. There's no numbers. But with the dual wield, you would take 15.
Okay.
So your blocking has got to be on point, or else you'll get.
I've gotten pretty good at
killed.
not getting hit.
I'm bad at that, so that's probably not the play style for me.
I think the second one might be a little tougher. It's kind of hard to remember.
What difficulty did you play it on?
Padawan.
Oh, okay.
I'll eventually do a new story plus or start again, and I'll rack it up.
Yeah.
I don't want to overindulge myself because I want to experience the story.
Yeah, for sure.
So
I'm playing. So while you're talking about that, I'm on Fallen Order. I've kind of been texting you about this because I didn't play it when it came out, but I'm playing it. I'm playing it on Jedi Knight, and it's really fun.
Yeah, when I played the second time, I played on Knight, and it's really exciting, especially like when you're in a lightsaber duel. You know, like if you mess up, like you're gonna get schwacked.
Yeah. You know, this is gonna sound super stupid, but like I feel like the first time I played it, I had a hard time with the combat, and then like before I played it this time, I played Elden Ring, and like the combat styles are similar, and it makes Fallen Order just feel so easy because like what I struggled with in Elden Ring, I recognized by the time I was done playing that game. So now playing this, I'm like, oh yeah, I know what I need to do here. And so like
it's a much simpler version of Elden Ring, and
yeah.
I've played Elden Ring now too.
It's
so
a much more
kind of
approachable,
know. Yeah, and it's definitely not as hard as like any Souls game.
Yeah.
But I think the droids are super battle droids can really mess you up. You fight, there's a lot of droids that you fight in the game, which is really cool.
So do you like Survivor more than Fallen Order?
Yes.
Nice.
It's an improved version all the way around.
How does it run? Because I've seen there's a lot of, I know PC is bad, but how does it run on PS5?
I have no idea.
How does it run on Xbox?
So far, most of the time.
Okay, you played on Xbox.
So you must have not listened to the episode last week.
I did not.
It was a financial decision.
Okay.
Because eventually this game will be on EA Play.
Yes.
I can sell it. And I still have all of my saves.
Smart.
So that's the only reason that I got it on Xbox. I would have preferred PlayStation, but
apparently there's some DualSense stuff. I listened to an interview, completely spoiler free. This was back in March. That the game director did. He was just kind of talking about what they did, but he wouldn't say what they did DualSense wise. So I'm interested to play it.
I wonder if you hit with this saber, you
feel it on the right side, yeah.
But what was I talking about?
Survivor's good.
Just the story is it's very character driven, which was really cool. Like you still have the galaxy is in peril stuff going on.
Yeah.
It's not as Inquisitor focused, which is not what I was expecting, but it like also ties into like some of the shows. Really cool. And like the side of this Cal Kestis universe, it's like right there with everything that Disney and Lucasfilm have done, but then they're like, like we're doing all this just insane stuff over here that's like super sci-fi and fantasy, and I love it.
I was talking to somebody at work today actually about Fallen Order because they had asked me if I was playing Survivor, and I was like, no, I'm playing through Fallen Order because I never beat it or whatever. And they were like, what do you think of it? And I was like, honestly, like it's Fallen Order is kind of the Star Wars story I think I'd rather have. Like, that it's not tied to the Skywalker family. It's not, everything we've already seen. Mm-hmm. It's different enough, and it works really well. I like it a lot.
I think the
like you still get what you want with lightsabers and everything, but like it's separated from everything else, and it just feels good. Yeah,
because like in the first game, it's with the Zepho, and with the second game, I can't say it's not with the Zepho though. Like you're not researching them. Or you start off and you're working for Saw Gerrera.
Oh,
like you're on a mission.
I heard you have like a room in a saloon or something like that.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Nice.
Grease owns a saloon on one of the planets.
Greasy money, baby.
Yeah.
Freaking love Grease.
Me too.
The whole cast. Freaking love all the characters. They're awesome. But like the Jedi Fallen Order, Jedi Survivor games, I think have done the best job of like feeling like Clone Wars or Rebels. Like I feel like it uses the art or versions of characters better than anybody else has done. But then it just doesn't take the story there. Like they're just doing their own thing, and it's super refreshing.
Yeah.
And I'm really curious if like we'll get a show or a movie where they reference kind of what they're doing in this game, because it is pretty big.
Do you want me to answer that question? Because the director says yes. He says they've reached out to him about TV shows.
Oh, baby.
Oh, baby. Let's go.
So
okay.
I think yes.
Because okay,
so
like
it's on IGN Unfiltered if you want to check it out.
Okay.
It's like 40 minutes. It's super short.
Because you reach the end of the game, you've beat it, and you're just like, this is a big deal what I've just done right now.
Yeah.
Or what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, because he makes the comment about it being canon. And he's like, they've reached out about like TV shows, like we're part of TV shows now, is what he says. And I was like, interesting.
That really,
I don't think you were supposed to say that, boss.
That gets me excited. But I really am excited for the third Respawn game, and I think it's going to continually improve. I remember what you asked me now a long time ago. How does it run?
Yes.
Finally coming back around to that. For the most part, it runs really well.
Good.
I talked about
Fallen
it.
Order was pretty buggy when it came out too.
Yeah, it is not near as bad as Fallen Order was,
Good.
I'd say. It still has its moments.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm not falling through the ground or, like, running through walls.
Dude,
or
I fell
anything.
through the ground constantly when I tried to play Fallen Order the first time, and it made me, like, stop playing. It was one of the reasons I stopped.
I've had 2 crashes.
I feel like at this point, crashes in games are pretty inevitable.
Yeah. And then I talked about it last week. There's quality mode and performance mode. And I really do prefer quality mode, but you do have to do performance because there will
combat, yeah.
No, just the frames will suffer.
And quality, like bad or
both.
Oh, okay.
And so you want to prioritize the frames because it just does it less.
Yeah.
Which I think is a bummer because the game is so pretty. It's so gorgeous. Like you'll come up to the top of a cliff and you're just looking at this sunset over this planet. You're just like, oh yeah. And this is when I was playing on quality mode. Let's go. And then I'm like running through this giant open world, and I'm just like.
How many?
Like, okay, let's put it on performance.
Are there like all new planets, or are there a couple returning planets? I've like tried to stay away from everything on this game.
So. All new.
Nice. That's
well, all new like in Star Wars, or all new from first game?
From the first game.
All new from the first game.
Sweet.
Nice.
There's 2 planets that are canon in Star Wars that you'll like. I don't even mind saying them. I don't think it's a spoiler. You start off in Coruscant.
Nice.
Classic. At this point.
And then
wouldn't be Star Wars without it.
And then the other planet is that's you've heard of before is Jeddah.
Okay.
I freaking loved Jeddah. There's like lots of Jedi temples and stuff. It's so cool.
Fired up, man. I'm so close to beating Fallen Order.
And
I can't wait. Problem is Tears of the Kingdom comes out Friday, so I have to find the balance between the 2 of those things.
Just gotta rush it.
Well,
rush in.
Tears of the Kingdom is a way bigger game, I'm sure. So I think
so.
I can definitely play Survivor and I can play those at the same time.
I think you would be surprised with how big Survivor is.
Oh, I'm sure it's probably a 25-hour campaign.
But just like Fallen Order had some exploring.
This has like side quests and stuff.
This has side quests and just giant open areas.
So is it like Ragnarok?
Yeah.
And it's like side quests and stuff? Or is it a little...
I'm trying to remember Ragnarok. It's honestly reminds me of like old Zelda games.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Because like the main planet that you're on most of the time is just there's so many caves and places to explore. And I got so distracted.
That's not good for me.
I was say it sounds like it'll be a problem for me too.
It's much more open world.
Nice.
But like it still maintains the Metroidvania, which I think is super cool.
Deal.
Souls like Metroidvania open world video game.
glad we can get as many of those buzzwords in there as possible.
Yeah. And I just played Metroid, which I think helped a little bit.
Yeah.
Because, like, I think going just into a Metroidvania game, you're like, go back there. Oh, now I have this thing that'll open the thing. Oh, I can come back tomorrow, too. Awesome puzzles. I love the puzzles.
Nice. What else have you done?
Sorry, real quick. So there's a side quest in Survivor where a character gives you bounties to go do them. Great side missions.
Okay.
Loved it.
Good to know.
Super, super fun. What else have I done?
I'm so excited for that game now, man. This sucks.
Dude, it's just awesome to play Star Wars video game too.
A good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got my notes. I finished Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Wait, did I? No, I didn't. What
I
did
can't
finish?
answer that for you.
Did I talk about Perry Mason?
You mentioned it a little bit.
I finished Perry Mason.
I finished it as well.
Miss Maisel is not done.
Yeah, Perry Mason.
Great stuff.
Yeah, you basically. I think you gave it a fanboy worthy last
Yeah.
week, but we didn't go into any detail. And I would agree, it's a fanboy worthy, very easy.
That show is awesome.
I love the vibe that show gives off,
Yeah.
and what it does for, it's the source material that it's based off of. They take it and they play with it in a way that you only really can in a limited series kind of format, where we're not solving a different murder every week, but rather we're taking a deeper look into
one case
and the entire system of justice.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of those really interesting threads that goes throughout the first season, but especially in the second season. It's addressed pretty head on.
Yeah.
Of is justice an illusion?
Maybe not.
Maybe.
Probably.
Mm.
So yes, Perry Mason. Finished that. Finished Sweet Tooth, which was awesome. That show is both incredibly dark and incredibly charming. I'm really excited for season 3. And then I'd say other big thing that I did was I binged the crap out of Star Wars Visions last night.
Ah, yes.
Watched all 8 episodes in one sitting.
I watched them on the 4th and 5th
when they came out.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's a pretty good follow up to the first season. The first season's better overall.
I would say much better.
But I still liked them. I appreciate that again that it's not trying to do the exact same thing.
It's just different voices in Star Wars land.
Yeah,
which is cool.
Yeah, and so I'm here for a season that maybe feels a little weaker if they're letting creatives try more unique things. Because I think the ones that really feel like Star Wars are really good, and then the ones that are like a little more experimental, they at least have either interesting things to say or they're more. They're more fun and they're for maybe a different audience. There's one that's I Am Your Mother.
Wallace and Gromit, Star Wars.
Claire loved that episode. She loved it. And so like I got a lot of joy out of watching it with her and kind of experiencing that. But yeah.
I don't need to go into my hate of I mean, it's unfortunate that some are kind of lower just because I don't like some I feel like. Which one is In the Stars? One where they're trying to get water.
I'm pulling it.
It's the sisters and they break into the Empire place and steal water, but get caught. I think that one's an interesting story, but it's. Yeah. Stop motion claymation, which is really hard for me to watch. And then also, they're doing action stuff, and to me, it just doesn't look good because it's claymation. It's really hard to do.
Mm-hmm. I thought maybe because there was a kid in there, and Luke famously hates kids. I hate
kids. And I hate claymation. So if it's kid in claymation, I don't hate them. Embrace the darkness.
I actually really liked the look of that one. I think it had a visual style to it that, it was claymation, but it felt really earthy and dirty compared to the other claymation
when it shows the
one.
TIE Fighter and it's just like hovering there, or when somebody's not moving, I think it looks really cool.
Yeah.
But then they start moving, I'm like, I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
I did actually really like the Owl's Song one.
Yeah.
That one felt different. It was a different type of force usage.
It was very unique.
Singing, which was unique.
Yeah.
The stop motion was like sewn puppet, or like what was the felt like?
Oh yeah.
A felt board almost. I thought that one was pretty cool. My favorite though was Screecher's Reach. It's like a
Screecher's Reach is great. Really really cool.
The ghost like legit kind of freaks me out.
I'm glad I didn't watch that one with Claire because that would have probably given her nightmares.
I really liked Journey to the Dark Head. Just an anime episode of Star Wars, which is really cool.
Yep.
I think the unfortunate part with that one is that one and like 4 others all had the same theme.
Yeah.
Which is light and dark are intertwined.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Where have we seen this before?
Everywhere. And the other one, my top 3 were Screecher's Reach, Journey to the Dark Head, and then my third one was The Spy Dancer.
Yeah. That one was really good. I like that one a lot too.
It was a character in the Empire, and they weren't a Force user. That was just really cool. I appreciate when they try and tell a story that isn't just, oh, I'm a Jedi. I'm struggling with the Force.
The Force.
And should I use the dark side?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we got like 4 of those this time.
I'll also give a shout out to The Pit. It's a really simple one, and I think they probably could have done more with it, but I don't know. I really liked.
I like that one too. Yeah.
The simple story around it, and I think it. I don't know. I liked it a lot.
I fell in the
So
pit.
again, overall for me, it was a good. I thought it was a good season. Not as strong as the first season was amazing. One of my favorite Star Wars things ever made. So I kind of knew my expectations were like way up here. I'm like, it's not gonna meet those, and it didn't. But I think they're still worth a watch. So
yeah,
I'll give them.
And I'll say the same thing that I said when we talked about the first season just like a couple weeks ago. If you're not liking an episode, just skip it and go to the next one.
Yeah.
None of them are connected.
Yep. There's no greater story. And none of them are canon, if that's what you're worried about.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about, like, just... You can skip it, or you can watch all the way through. It's not going to take you that much longer.
I watched all of them. It took 3 hours. It was like watching a movie.
Yeah. Yep. So... I'll give it probably a low fanboy worthy.
Same.
Good, not great.
Nice.
Luke,
that's all for me.
Okay, and that's pretty much all I did. We kind of talked about the 2 things. Oh, I did start Love and Death on HBO with Elizabeth Olsen and what's his name?
Dude, the cop from Game Night.
Jesse Plemons?
Jesse Plemons.
Which means it's probably good.
Yeah.
It actually
Everything
is.
he touches seems to always be good.
It actually is. It's pretty good.
He's in Like Mike.
Great movie!
I'm 4 episodes into, I think it's 6. I think it's a 6
Nice.
limited series. So I'll come back probably in a couple weeks with a final review, but I've been enjoying it. You definitely have to be okay with like the subject matter, which is an affair. Like you have to be able to stomach watching it.
Yeah.
Right. But it's a pretty fascinating character study. Say that.
Nice.
Tyler?
I'll very quickly go through. Went to Boston. Went to a baseball game at Fenway.
Boston in the...
Super cool experience. If you've never been to Fenway, you should definitely try to go. I also went home to Maryland, saw my family, went to the National Aquarium.
Oh, yeah.
Got to go to Baltimore for a day. It was really fun. I've mentioned I've been playing Jedi Fallen Order. trying to beat that so I can start Survivor. I tried out Street Fighter 6. Not for me. I thought it sucked, but I'm sure somebody out there will like it.
Dumpsty?
For me, yeah. I mean, it's not my cup of tea. We can talk about that off air at some point. I read a book on my trip. Spent a lot of time in flights and travel, so I read The Cold Dish by Craig Johnson. This is the first book in the Longmire series. If you've heard of the Longmire show,
I have, yeah.
That show is based on these books.
It's been on my Netflix watch list for about 7 years.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's really good. Is what I've heard.
Same.
The book was awesome. Like I thought the book was great. I really liked it. So definitely going to be reading more of that series. It's 22 books and counting at this point. They're pretty short, like 300 page, easy reads. But
Still.
yeah, it's a hefty one. And then I tried a game out that everybody's talking about.
Let's go!
I tried out Redfall.
Oh!
Yeah.
I want to download and play it. I just gotta try it.
Yeah, I tried out Redfall. Sheesh.
Maybe it's better if we're together.
So, there's a couple things here. Number one, I really like the idea of this game. I think the premise is great. I think the systems that are in place are interesting. I think what they're going for fits the kind of game that this is. Right? That's great. Problem is, the game feels awful to play.
It not good.
Feels horrible, and the AI is so bad, and it's so buggy, and it's really, like, I booted it up, played it for like 45 minutes, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go back to Jedi Fallen Order. Like, this is doing nothing that is wanting me to keep playing.
Yeah. Because
it just feels bad, and it's not the FPS, it's not the 30 frames per second. It's everything else.
Yeah, that's the least of their problems right now.
No, yeah, it's so much more than that. Like, this game, I really like. Look, I like Arcane. I think they do great stuff.
This was
Game of the year?
Was this
Winner.
Austin?
Yeah, Arcane Austin.
Arcane Austin.
Game of the year.
And I don't want to be mean to the studio because I think what they're trying to do is so interesting. But dude, it feels like an Xbox 360 game to play. It feels bad. Like, real bad. Like, my brother's playing it, and he's played a lot more than I have. And he's like, man, it doesn't feel good. He's like, but something about it makes me want to keep playing it. And he's a huge Borderlands fan, so I understand. It does have a little bit of that Borderlands Far Cry feel to it. But boy, howdy. It's rough. It's in rough shape.
Gonna Sea of Thieves or
I hope
No
so.
Man's Sky it?
I hope so, because like I said,
Update comes out and it's like the greatest game.
dude, I really hope so, because I think what they have, like, from a Bones standpoint, is really good. I think it's super interesting.
Vampire Bones.
Yeah.
Bones.
I just love this. Like, one of the things I love the most is the setting. I think the setting's really cool. Just being in like a normal old town. Like, I just think that's so cool.
Did it remind you of a town like home?
No, I mean, it's in Massachusetts, which I think is funny because I was just up there.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, it feels like a small town on the water. Pretty cool. But that's where.
Should I download it?
I don't plan on touching it for a while,
Okay.
man. But if I do, I'll let you know. Because Hunter
I've got a couple more rumors I need to finish in Survivor, so.
Nice. All right. Well,
Go find that Terra and kill a double Rancor. Oh my.
You got this.
No,
You
I
can-
don't.
you can do it.
I believe in you.
The double Ogdobogdo was hard enough.
Anything with the word double in it scares me. So.
Bogdo.
Yeah. Good show, Tyler. Great to have you back, man.
Thanks.
We will be off next week.
I'll be playing Zelda.
Yeah, we
Or
all gotta
Survivor.
play Zelda, so obviously we've got to skip the show. No, there's just some scheduling conflicts.
Only one.
Yeah.
The most important conflict
Yeah.
is
you.
It's
you.
me. Hi, it's me. I'm the problem.
You're the
Same-
problem for podcasts. You're
And-
the problem for D&D.
And D&D. But yeah, so we'll be back on the. I didn't pull my calendar up. 20 something.
Episode 300. Oh my gosh.
22nd. On the 22nd, we'll be celebrating episode 300. So if you have anything special you want us to talk about, or you want to reminisce about, or have some extra fun Fanbox questions, I don't think we'll be doing probably impressions of.
We're just gonna listen to our first episode where we reviewed Wonder Woman, and we're just gonna analyze that and how well we did.
I love it. Perfect.
I forgot to tell you guys I have something to do that day if that's what we're doing. But if we're not doing that, I can cancel my plans.
We definitely are.
Okay, fine.
That.
We're listening to the first episode that Brett was on.
Okay.
Our E3 2-part episode.
Much more doable.
Or maybe it was just a 3-hour episode.
It was, I don't know. I don't know.
It was very long.
It was very long. But, all right. Thank you all for watching, listening. We'll see you in a couple of weeks for episode 300. We're out.
Oh my gosh, how's that possible?